And so here we see this setting. John and Peter had been given the instructions to go prepare this, find the place and get it all set up. And you'd expect that John and Peter would be sitting in these places of honor, but it doesn't exactly work out that way. Now, if you recall in the gospel records, it says that John, the apostle that Jesus loved, was leaning against the chest of Jesus, leaning towards Jesus. Now, you'll notice these people are not in nice, comfortable, cushy chairs. They're sitting on cushions and reclining because this was the symbol for a free people. Passover is the freedom festival, amen? Freedom from Egypt. So they would sit reclining on the cushions on the floor as a free people, leaning, as you can see, towards the left, towards the person next to them. So here we're going to find the one on the end is John, because he's the one leaning towards the breast or the chest, the lap, leaning towards Jesus. They would lean on their left arm. And you see them conversing there. Then the super place of honor is to the left of the guests. Now, Peter should have been sitting here because he and John made the preparations. But you remember the story of Peter, how he was reluctant to serve, and Jesus had to get up and wash everybody's feet. This was really the job that Peter should have had. But how many of you can identify with Peter sometime? He had that hoof and mouth disease, or whatever that is that the cows have these days, foot and mouth disease or something, you know. And so he would normally be sitting on the other side in the really guest of honor role. But I want you to notice something. You look to the right of the table and see the person on the very end. He's kind of waving over to John and Jesus. You see that person? Guess who that is? That's Peter. The one who was proud is the one sitting farthest away from Jesus. Can I have an amen? And he's sitting in the place of the one who would normally be washing people's feet. If you'll notice there beside him is the pail of water and the towel. And when you read John 13, you see that Peter was the last one to have his feet washed, which tells us he was in this last place here, is the place of the person who normally should have been washing the other people's feet. That's the way they did it. But here was Jesus, the host, humbling himself and washing their feet.